He was first car out over the mountain in the Bob Jane BMW and posted a time which earned him 9th on the grid. On pit counter, gentleman Jim Richards waited patiently for his run.
Well, Jim, do you have a chance of bettering the Jaguars' times today?
No, I don't think we'll better the Jaguars' times. We've got a chance to better our own time and perhaps make it a bit harder for the rest of the cars to get up to 4th place. That's about all we can hope for.
Peter Brock's Commodore was off the pace and had to settle for 11th position, unfortunately. Then the New Zealand touring car champion Robbie Franzovic put on a gutsy performance to earn 5th fastest, but struck trouble on his second run. The Ford fans welcomed Johnson and Perkins in the Mustangs, and Johnson's proved the V8 was a real screamer, winning 3rd fastest. But the Jags roared away, and UK ace Tom Walkinshaw proved the big cats are ready to pounce tomorrow with a 2-minute 18.222 second run.
And we check those grid positions with Tom Walkinshaw's Jaguar on the pole position, Jeff Allen in a Jaguar next to him, then the Mustang of Dick Johnson, the Commodore of Alan Grice, Robbie Franzovic in the Volvo, John Goss in the Jaguar. Look at those Jaguars dominating. And further down the list, Jim Richards BMW, Robert Ravaglia in the BMW, David Parsons Commodore, Peter Brock in his Commodore in 10th position, although he did have the 11th fastest time. Larry Perkins was a late withdrawal from the race. They all moved up one, so Peter Brock now in 10th position on the grid for the start of the big race tomorrow, Ian.
Yes, well, looking at those grid positions, it's fairly obvious that with the changes to the regulations this year, King of the Mountain Peter Brock isn't going to have things all his own way in the James Hardie 1000. Tim Sheridan took a wander through the Bathurst pits to see how Brock's challenge was shaping up, as well as run an eye over his opposition.
For so long now, Bathurst has been the showcase for Australian-made cars. They've won at the mountain for the past 18 years, and the winningest of them have been the Holdens of Peter Brock. There are a few more popular drivers than the aggressive Victorian. Since he first won in a Tirana XU1 in 1972, there have been 7 other victories, and his nearest rival has just 4. Invariably, he starts the race from pole position. With the introduction of the Group A classification, the face of Bathurst has changed. When the starter's flag drops here on Pitch Straight tomorrow morning, it isn't likely an Australian-made car will be filling pole position. What will probably be there is the sort of car often seen cruising the leafier suburbs of Australia. A Rover, a Volvo, a BMW, or more than likely, a Jaguar. From England, Scotsman Tom Walkinshaw has air freighted 3 XJS Jaguars, and at present they're race favourites. They've just finished taking out the European Touring Car Championship and are adopting a winged keel attitude to security at Bathurst. They not only look good, but this week have left the rest of the field standing at practice, clocking 290 kilometres an hour down Conrod Straight, and with a promise they can keep it up tomorrow.
But you know, you've got to remember the Jaguars winning 24-hour races in Europe, so and circuits are just as demanding as Bathurst. So I think that undoubtedly some cars will break, but I'm sure we'll have some there at the end.
Down goes the flag, and the 1984 James Hardie 1000 is underway. And it is George
Walkinshaw has dark and horrible memories of last year's race.
Tom Walkinshaw is stalled there on the starting line, been collected by a Camaro.
For him, it ended on the grid when his Goss Jaguar's clutch failed and he was hit by a fast-moving Camaro, and it's one of the reasons he's back.
Very, very disappointed last year, and in fact the plans to come here were laid on the Monday after the race because our entire team wanted to come back and do it properly.
Doing it properly will mean dethroning the King of the Mountain.
But this year, there's no doubt that we're probably facing a situation where we're less competitive than I can remember, well, since probably around the early 70s in the XU1 Tiranas.
Brock's other major threat is another one of those leafy suburb cars, the BMW of Jim Richards. It also has looks and speed, and has already taken Richards to the Australian Touring Car Championship this year. Along with the Jaguars, Richards can now stand toe-to-toe with Brock, who says it's not a challenge without its flaws.
The Jaguars are extremely fast, we've seen that, we expected that. But a few unknown quantities there with the Jags with brakes and fuel consumption, etc. Richards has got the reliability, but I think he's got a car which is probably suited to a flatter circuit than this mountainous one.
It's true further rule changes will put Brock's Commodore back in the box seat at the end of this year, but like it or not, he must stand up and be counted as this year's champion for the locally built iron. In a way, the challenge has been a benefit.
People who I didn't know if they had what it takes have proven that they really can come up with good ideas, and they've applied themselves to the challenge excellently.
Well, it should be a very interesting race tomorrow, and I can certainly vouch for the speed of that BMW after having done a few laps in it. It can go.